Okay, so here we are, August 25th, 2023. This is the second episode. However, it's not the second episode. We had a second episode yesterday, but
it's gone. So today is episode 2 with an asterisk. We got done with a 30-minute show yesterday, and almost immediately it got deleted down to about 3 minutes. So
yes,
we had 3 decent topics.
So we tried to fancy it up a little bit, using
this
the
day
apps.
in history.
Yeah, we tried to use the app's music, just kind of to play the music in the background for the intro, and then I thought I could delete just the music, but I deleted like 27 minutes of material.
The 3 minutes we had was gangbusters, though. It was right on time.
Yeah, we may publish that.
We may not.
It'll be called Episode Crap.
The lost episode. But
I was slightly irritated, but the topic was this day in history, August 24th, and we discussed, I didn't think it would fill 30 minutes of time because our lack of knowledge is outstanding. We know just enough about everything to know nothing at all.
right. Right.
But you can look this stuff up on the internet. This day.
Yeah, it wasn't any big mystery, but I think like it was the War of 1812, Mount Vesuvius erupting on Pompeii, Pete Rose being banned from baseball, and was there another?
Amelia Earhart took off.
Earhart.
She took off from California.
Yeah.
On August 24th.
Yeah.
And the Goths, the Visigoths.
Oh yes, the Visigoths raiding of Rome.
Yep, in 410.
Yeah, and the thing about the Visigoths and the War of 1812, I gave my opinion, but the extent of my knowledge was pretty much History Channel on that, and you never want to come with History Channel knowledge. It's like coming to talk world politics by reading Twitter tweets.
Oh, like you're a outstanding scholar because...
Yes, because...
Well, I would say that's more knowledge than 75% of the population.
Right.
And
I think even on Mount Vesuvius, I came to realize that I had said that I thought that in history the term volcano wasn't even invented, and that it was quoted that the god Vulcan was angered. Well, it turns out, to my dismay, that I was actually quoting an old episode of Doctor Who. So I don't think there's any historical fact in anything I said. So I'm relieved that it was lost.
Well, you wanted to get into that.
Well, I did, but I think it's for the best that I did not, or was not allowed to.
I just thought it was a fantastic archaeological site.
Yes, absolutely, and I was trying to
an unfortunate archaeological site.
And I decided to drop knowledge that I gained through a fictional show on the BBC. So
it is British, so
yes.
If you say anything with the British accent, it makes it better, I suppose.
I suppose so. But...
I suppose. Okay, well, that's 4 minutes and 8 seconds of your life you'll never get back.
You're welcome.
But today, the topic, believe it or not, the topics seem to be difficult. It seems like pulling teeth. Now, there's many discussions that we continue to have on a daily basis, but we cannot publish those discussions. We may work on a little bit of it to make it vanilla enough that it could be discussed. I think it's possible.
It would take so much work to church it up enough to put it up on a podcast.
I don't know. Well, if we can never learn how to use the technology, maybe we can actually devote some time to actual material.
Yeah, there's a possibility
Maybe.
of that. I think you're asking a lot of me, but we'll see. We'll get to work on it.
Yeah, so today, it doesn't even belong there. Today, the topic is going to be
Cartoons,
cartoons.
to put it bluntly. Yes.
So, and it's not just cartoons, it's cartoons that,
We grew up with.
yeah. So we're talking tunes from the 70s, the pinnacle of cartoons, I'm thinking.
The Hanna-Barberas, the Looney Tunes, although that was a bit before the 70s, but
Yeah.
let's be real, that's timeless.
Timeless.
And cartoons of the early 80s, and I think it's a decent subject.
Yeah, so let's see where it goes.
Okay. As the clock she started,
I mean, the green light has shown its face.
time for banter.
So, off the top of your head, one of your favorite cartoons as, in your early childhood.
Well, in my early childhood, all the way to, sadly, a man in my mid-40s, any of the Looney Tunes. I mean, characters are amazing. Foghorn Leghorn, to me, was an all-time character. Yosemite Sam, characters like that. Just the writing, the comedy in it was outstanding.
Yeah, just quality humor.
Quality humor.
I guess they call it slapstick.
Slapstick, and then you also kind of teetered on the inappropriate, but you know what? When you're kids, you don't notice it.
Right, and I think initially some of the efforts with Looney Tunes was for enjoyment of the troops.
Absolutely.
Specifically World War II, where they were easily made. I mean, a lot of them are about the wars, right?
Yes, and our enemies in the war, and they probably weren't depicted in a favorable light.
No, and I think a lot of those have disappeared.
Unfortunately, but you can find them. You can
Yeah.
find them.
One of my favorites during that time was the gremlin on the plane.
Was that? Are you thinking of Twilight Zone?
No, it was a cartoon.
Was it? I
Yeah.
don't remember that one.
No, the Twilight Zone was a
Yeah.
creature on the wing.
Okay. All right.
So there was a little gremlin in a plane, a World War II bomber. He actually had a little hat, had wings on it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm with
Yeah.
you. I remember that.
So that was a funny one.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I say, the Looney Tunes was outstanding. Then you get to the Hanna-Barberas, where you have Johnny Quest. I think Hong Kong Phooey was
Yeah.
Hanna-Barbera.
Hong Kong Phooey.
Speed Buggy.
Speed Buggy was, I think that was one of my favorites early.
Oh yeah,
as
absolutely.
as a young kid in the 70s.
Absolutely. And let's see. We also.
I mean, you see all these things on the internet now where I just saw a meme the other day, a picture of a kid waking up on Saturday morning for
Yeah.
cartoons.
Absolutely.
I mean, that got blown.
Yeah.
We did watch cartoons on Saturday, and then early in the morning, there was a show, and I think it was out of Asheville, North Carolina, and there was a guy that hosted the show, a kid's show in the mornings. I could be wrong about this, about being from Asheville. Maybe it was because it was on the Asheville channel.
Yeah.
But he would show Gumby and Pokey.
Yeah.
I think they call him Mr. Bill. I know
Yeah.
Mr. Bill was in the Gumby cartoons.
I
but,
think so, and I think there was a spoof of that on Saturday Night Live, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh
Mr.
no,
Bill.
Mr. Bill.
Yeah, absolutely. But but then back to Hanna-Barbera, I believe Yogi Bear, the Jetsons, Flintstones, Scooby-Doo,
Quick Draw McGraw.
Quick Draw McGraw.
Was that his name?
I don't know. I think so.
There's a few there.
Yeah,
Huckleberry Hound.
Oh, Huckleberry Hound was the man, or the dog. You had Space Ghost, and then one of my all-time favorites, just because of the theme songs. And that's the thing about our cartoons, theme songs.
Themes, yeah.
I mean, today you may have a 5-second theme song and then they go into the story, but don't underestimate a good theme song. And the theme songs thrived in early 80s cartoons where you had Gummy Bears, you had DuckTales and things like that. Those songs.
Yeah. I mean, I've almost grown tired of the DuckTales song
Why? How's that possible?
because you've been singing it the past 2 weeks.
Then you should just sit back and enjoy it. Listen, I don't sing anything for my benefit. Everything I sing is for your all's benefit.
You don't even know you're doing it.
I know exactly what I'm doing at all times. Let's see. They had back to Hanna-Barbera. Super Friends.
Oh, Super Friends.
Yeah. Birdman and the Galaxy Trio, which I enjoyed. I didn't know. I thought for some reason Tom and Jerry were Looney Tunes, but
It's Hanna-Barbera.
That's Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah.
But why am I always, when I'm, again, mid-40s, when I'm watching Looney Tunes, even today, they'll show Tom and Jerry with it. Or maybe that's like the next show.
It's probably the next show.
Yeah. Okay.
Was Jabberjaw one of the...
Jabberjaw was, and I mean, if I didn't want to embarrass myself, I could sing you that theme song. But
yeah, I probably could too.
Yeah, no, but no, Hanna-Barbera. I mean, home run hitters with the cartoon age. Captain Caveman, absolutely. I used to have a Captain Caveman club that I would beat the tar out of my sisters with. And
was it foam rubber?
It was plastic, man. No.
Oh, no, we hadn't got to injection foam.
It was plastic. Probably had lead paint all over it. Who knows?
But, probably.
But no. Yeah, the early '80s cartoons I really enjoyed. That I didn't know that DuckTales annoyed you so.
Well, it doesn't. I mean, not
the fact that I sing it.
Well, I mean, after 4 or 5 times.
That's just getting warmed up. You still got about 6 or 7 more times to go before I hit my peak.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a rare event where you're with someone and you can finish each other's whistling of a song.
Yeah, I was about to say, let's get this out there. He's in it with me at all times when I'm singing. There's never a time he's saying, you got to cut that out. No more of that singing.
Yeah, that's true.
But he's there with me. But then you compare it to what the kids got today. I watched a little
Rick and Morty?
Rick and Morty, Phineas and Ferb, which isn't bad. I've watched that with kids in my family.
Okay, yeah, Phineas and Ferb. So, were they a blended family? Because one little kid's British, right?
That's an origin story I'm nowhere near.
Is that right?
I have no idea.
They were like the little scientist kids, right?
The only they were scientist kids. There was a doctor. There was an enemy. I only caught this like.
Oh, and they had a platypus.
They did have a platypus, and
maybe the kid was Australian.
I don't think there was any nationality involved.
There was. He had an accent. He did.
Well, he may have. Who knows?
So thinking about this, thinking about cartoons. So I have experienced multiple generations of cartoons.
Yeah.
With my children.
Yeah.
So my oldest is 29. So if we think about when he was, 3 or 4, starting to watch cartoons 26 years ago. So I had all of my cartoons as a kid, and then I was essentially forced to watch what was, and so it was, Rugrats.
Was SpongeBob a thing then?
SpongeBob wasn't quite there yet. I think that was more with the next kids who were, several years younger. But I've had enough of SpongeBob.
It's done. I can't tolerate it.
I mean, there's a difference in, like, the Looney Tunes are classic.
Yeah.
SpongeBob, one and done for me.
Yeah. But the thing I loved about, like, harping back to our 80s cartoons, and that was the cartoons where I was coming up. But our cartoons in the 80s seemed like it was solely fueled by the toy industry.
Yeah, action figures.
I mean, Transformers, man. Now, I've seen the kids' Transformers today, garbage. The Transformers when I was a kid, metal.
Yeah, big, large, bigger scale.
Yeah, He-Man, G.I. Joe. People will forget a cartoon that spawned a whole toy industry was Mask. Do you remember Mask?
Jim Carrey movie?
Not at all. Mask was a miniature versions of G.I. Joes, but they had a base. That's a gross summarization, miniature Mask.
Never heard of it.
Oh yeah, Mask was there. That was a cartoon. Then you had the wrestling industry spawned a cartoon. I think it was called Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling, and
Wait, this was the 80s?
this is the '80s. Fantastic.
Wait,
song.
so I must have already been in high school by then.
I'd say you may have, or you probably realized the opposite sex was.
I was more mature.
Yeah,
I matured quicker than you did.
What? I don't think it's a race. I think
I'm just stating a fact.
I mean, well, I state that fact, but with Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling, that also lent to a whole wrestling figures industry. They were these rubber wrestling figures. I had them all, but then not only that, you had it was a movie. It wasn't cartoons, but the Star Wars toy industry is just crazy how more in the '80s.
No, I've seen TV shows, documentaries on the whole thing.
Yeah,
like Star Wars, the spin-off of toys and those things probably netted them more money.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, probably not, but a lot.
I think the marketing,
the collectibles.
And I think now we're getting off the subject of cartoons, but I think I read where Lucas made most of his money from he wanted the entirety of the toy marketing contract. So he negotiated less money, I believe, to make the movies, where he got 100%.
Oh, so his percentage of the movie take was less, so he could get all the toys.
Yeah, 100% of the toys.
That's foresight.
Yeah. But no, I mean the cartoons in our youth just had so much substance. Not to say the kids today, like I think kids today, they enjoy more. What's that Japanese anime?
Oh, that's big.
Yeah, that's huge.
Well, then that was some of the things that we watched as the kids grew.
Yeah.
Specifically, my oldest son, and he's still all into, and I don't even know what to call it, but I always say it's Yu-Gi-Oh or something, and he has to correct me. It's more like that one cartoon. I think there's 9,000 episodes of it.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, there's spent like the Airbender.
Oh.
Yeah, there's spin-offs of that. Recently, I went on a trip with my family, and my niece and nephew were watching a spin-off of an Airbender cartoon on Netflix, and it's crazy how many spin-offs.
I will tell you one of my favorite cartoons as an adult now that was a cartoon with the kids, Samurai Jack. You ever seen that?
No, but that was on the list of very popular cartoons. I've never seen it.
It's so good. It's so good. It's on, I mean, I've rewatched it more recently.
Yeah.
And I tell people I don't watch shows when they ask if I've watched Yellowstone or Breaking Bad, and I will say no, because it's true. Right. But I have watched Samurai Jack.
Well, now, have you watched that since your children have grown? Or
within the past year.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, and the downfall, well, not necessarily the downfall, but the decline of the cartoon, would Mythos be the right word, or the whole industry, I'd say probably lends itself to the evolution of the Cartoon Network. You have cartoons Saturday morning cartoons. Who cares anymore? I don't even.
Yeah, it's not an event.
Yeah, no. Saturday morning cartoons to us, I technically get up before my parents were up.
Yeah, because if you didn't, it was gone.
Yeah, that was it.
And you didn't have on-demand video.
Yeah, and then I think back to this is off subject a little bit. The commercials that were coming on during our Saturday, I must have seen 4,000 commercials on Dianetics by L. Ron Hubbard.
L. Ron Hubbard.
I mean, those were playing in the middle of our dadgum Saturday morning cartoons.
Well, I mean, think about it.
Getting you young?
Did you ever read Dianetics?
Not at all.
I actually bought the book as a kid.
Because of the commercial?
Yeah, because I was like, what is this?
Well, on Sunday morning wrestling on the USA Network, every commercial, or not every commercial break, they would have Dianetics by L. Ron Hubbard, and I begged my mom to.
Did she know what it was about?
Yeah, she wouldn't have it. Just like you remember, Publishers Clearinghouse that would send out the stamps for magazines that you ordered? Well, when I was a kid, I'd read them and be like, oh, Playboy, this must be a magazine about learning how to play. Mom, I think we need to get this for me so I can play better. My mom's like, are you kidding me? Like, first off, I don't want you looking at anything on this sheet. I was like, well, Mom, I mean...
And second, we're not getting any of this.
Yeah. Well, I was like, Mom, I hear the articles are great. But she's like, you're in third grade. So.
Well, I mean, that Alex Haley was that's where he basically got started.
He cut his teeth in the Playboy magazine?
Yeah, he contributed to the magazine, wrote articles.
Yeah, I always heard about the old articles.
I guess. Well, that's a departure from Saturday morning cartoons.
They go hand in hand. Saturday morning cartoons, Playboy.
Okay, so with that being said, you've said a lot, quite honestly.
Have I?
I'm surprised.
Well, that's hurtful.
Well, no, I mean, that's what we're doing.
You want me to pipe down?
It's not like if you are doing shadow puppets, anyone's going to know.
Well,
So the point is to talk. But what I really want to ask is if you could give, like your top 5
cartoons.
Yeah, no, I know it's probably really hard to do. So we'll split it up. You can have top like retro cartoons, let's say, that were cartoons before we were born or before you were born. So Looney Tunes, all that stuff. Mickey Mouse. We didn't mention Disney.
Yeah, I was never a big Disney fan. I like the specials, like the Halloween specials. I liked Disney's Christmas Carol. Made me bawl like a baby when little Tiny Tim died in that, and you see Mickey and the family, Minnie Mouse go up there to the grave. But I was just never into...
Well, I mean, I didn't think of Disney as the same thing. It was a movie.
Okay, yeah, like I enjoyed, do you remember the Disney, I don't know if it was a movie or a cartoon, where the Yellowstone, where the bears were all around, tourists would come in fly fishing, and then the park director would sing the song to get the bears to pick up the trash with their stick. First you take the trash, put it in the bag, bump, bump, sorry. But stuff like that.
So they were like shorts.
Yeah, they were shorts.
Yeah.
So I guess I did like
Was that Disney?
That was Disney, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love those.
Oh man, those are great.
Now, if you talk about Disney and their illustrations or their cartoon artists, I feel like they were probably
top notch.
Better.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you get into the 70s and 80s and it's stick figure cartoons compared to that. That's a cinematic production.
Oh yeah. But not like when you say top 5, are you talking, because I would have 2 categories. I'd have top 5 when I was a child and top 5 today, because there are some not adult cartoons as in Playboy, but adult themed cartoons that are outstanding.
Okay, well do those 2.
Okay, so top 5. Now this is off the cuff. I have nothing prepared. So top 5.
Well, I mean it's difficult to pick.
Yeah.
5, but if you just off the cuff.
Well, number 1 as a kid, Looney Tunes. In specific, Foghorn Leghorn. I love the narrated Looney Tunes ones where it's like show Houses of the Future and stuff like that.
That's kind of borders on the Disney thing too.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Then I'd have to go. Probably, I was a big Space Ghost fan. Now, this is just a personal choice. These are not in any particular order, except for Looney Tunes. Looney Tunes is number 1. It's the Andy Griffith show of the cartoon industry. I mean,
Looney Tunes?
Yeah.
Okay.
To me.
Yeah.
So then also, I would have to say, I loved Jabberjaw. One I was never a fan of was Scooby-Doo. People always talk to me about Scooby-Doo. I just never...
Well, it was the same show every time.
Yeah, I think so. It was always the old man at the amusement park.
And if it hadn't been for you pesky kids...
He would have got away with it. It split. He got out of town. But Let's see here. Also, just because it was me and wrestling was such a huge part of my life when I was a child, Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling. I bet if I went back and watched it today, it'd be terrible, and I'd be embarrassed that this is documented. However, when I was a kid,
I've never seen it.
oh man, the theme song, I remember I would record it off the TV on a cassette tape, and then we'd go out and have our neighborhood wrestling matches, and that
You
was
play
my
the theme?
that was my theme coming down to the ring. Oh yeah, because it had crowds cheering, and
Yeah.
oh man, it was fantastic.
That's perfect.
Oh yeah. So then we got the Love Speed Buggy. I know I'm probably going over 5, but Flintstones. Flintstones to me was fantastic. Yeah. I reference it every time I sit when 5 o'clock happens and I see people split. I'm like, all right.
You talking about Jessica?
No, I mean, there's
No one in particular.
No one in particular, but I always think of sliding down the brontosaurus back when the 5 o'clock whistle goes. But
It wasn't actually a whistle.
was it a bird?
It was a bird.
Yeah, I should have known. Everything was an animal related.
Well, they weren't advanced enough to have whistles. They just used the creatures.
Right. It's like on one of my favorite cartoons when I was an adult, Family Guy. I referenced it one time with all the animals that are doing all these tasks, and the plunger was like an animal. He looks at the camera. You think you've got a crap job?
Yeah, that's what they always did. You think you've got it bad?
Yeah. So, but no, as an adult, I'd say top 5. I loved American Dad. American Dad's a fantastic cartoon. Love Family Guy. Basically, the Seth MacFarlane cartoons, just because of the writing, is just fantastic. And then I love South Park. I mean, there's a reason it's been on for 2 decades. I mean, early South Park wasn't my favorite.
Yeah, I can honestly say I've never watched it.
Man, if you watch South Park after the seasons after they get a animation program, because early in their cartoons they were doing the construction paper cutout. Then it was funny. There was funny things, but it was funny when I was that age. It was far more immature, hard to believe, than I am today.
Really?
Yeah, but when they got the computer, the animation program, they were able to concentrate more on the storyline.
Because
they
they
spend
weren't spending 100 hours cutting out figures.
Yeah, like one week they did an episode just on what they had to go through because they were so topical. I remember the week that Obama was elected. He did the inaugural speech where the good Reverend Jesse Jackson had a back row seat when he thought he was going to be up on stage. But that was on, I believe, either Monday or Tuesday. The episodes came out on Wednesday, and they had that inauguration exactly just like it was on TV. So from Monday to Wednesday, they got a full show done. I mean, they were workers, and they still are, but
Wow.
yeah.
I never knew.
I mean, there's outstanding cartoons for people our age today. If you can sit through cartoons, a lot of people can't anymore for some reason. But
They're too long?
I don't think they're too long. I think there's a stigma.
I mean, people are watching TikTok.
People are watching
And so there's a stigma around a cartoon?
Yeah, there's stigmas around cartoons.
I mean, they're sucked into the vortex of mindless...
dribble.
I mean, it's such a time suck.
Yeah, no, but you bring up a new cartoon today, people look at you like, when are you going to grow up?
I think if you refer to it as animation, most people wouldn't know what you're talking about.
That's true. The fact that I refer to it as cartoon.
Oh, I'm currently enjoying an animated series.
Oh, wow. How
Very sophisticated.
Oh, my.
Is it on TikTok? No.
No, then I want nothing to do with it, sir.
Okay, so you've mentioned a few good things. I think you stole one or two of mine, but
Which
that's
ones?
okay. Like Speed Buggy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can have it also.
Hong Kong Phooey
Hong Kong food.
was one of my early favorites. Obviously, Looney Tunes, because we just had good memories of watching that with my dad because he loved it.
Yeah.
His favorite was Roadrunner and Coyote.
You know, a lot of people love Roadrunner and Coyote, and I loved it when Coyote would actually talk. But I was always for Coyote.
Well, that's the whole idea.
Yeah.
You knew he wasn't going to win. But however, I always would say, Dad, why didn't he? He's buying all this stuff. Why didn't you just buy some food?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, why not just buy something to eat instead of buying a rocket?
It's not for the coyote to shop for food. It's for the coyote to hunt. The coyote
And there's
must
only
hunt.
one Roadrunner.
There's a Roadrunner shortage.
Have you ever seen a Roadrunner?
On TV? I don't think I've ever seen one in person.
I actually saw one about 3 to 4 feet away a couple years ago out in Utah.
How much Acme products did it have with it?
None.
Boy, Acme's really.
He looked
I mean,
nothing like the cartoon.
I bet Acme stock these days have plummeted.
I mean, nobody's buying it.
Nobody's buying Acme anymore. No, but
It's a travesty.
I'll tell you another cartoon from our childhood, or my childhood especially. You probably were discovered women by then and moved on from cartoons. Muppet Babies. Do you remember Muppet Babies?
I do. I'm not going to tell you why. It was very irritating, quite honestly.
The cartoon was, or the story?
Yeah,
was?
I didn't think. Well, I only watched it for one reason.
I can't wait. Why?
It was because of someone who liked to watch it. But I wasn't a fan. I did want to mention one thing that you didn't mention at all, and I thought you might hit upon it, was The Simpsons.
I tell you, 1984 was when Muppet Babies came out. I was 7, so that's why I was.
Yeah.
But The Simpsons.
Well, I mean, just thinking about the duration. Because,
The duration is highly impressive. Now, The Simpsons came out when I was in middle school, because I remember this guy I went to school with, his entire wardrobe was Bart Simpson T-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
I made fun of them mercilessly for that, but I feel bad for it. But anyways.
I mean, what are they, bordering on 40 years now?
Yeah. I mean, I like I say, middle school. When my 6th grade year, Simpsons came out, so.
Yeah, I've never really watched it.
I haven't watched it since high school. I don't know if nothing rubbed me the wrong way about it. I just kind of was like, okay, it's.
Yeah, I've had enough of
I mean,
these.
South Park did a whole episode where they were trying to come up with new ideas, and this kid would just be there saying, "Simpsons did it."
Oh, every idea they had.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. What else could they do?
Yeah. So no matter what they'd come up with the most outlandish schemes known to man. And they'd all look at the kid and the kid goes, Simpsons did it. And it's like, so it kind of sums up The Simpsons for me. I used to like it. I didn't grow out of it because clearly I don't grow out of much, but I just stopped watching it. And you know what? They also got too much of a political lean in the later years. I don't care what side you're on politically. Just keep it out of my entertainment. I just want to escape, sit down, and watch something and laugh. But Simpsons pretty much lean pretty heavy on the political aspect of their show.
Yeah, I mean those are things that always get me too. But I mean, I guess if I'm watching a cartoon, those are things I don't necessarily want to think about.
Yeah, no, like Seth MacFarlane, the creator of Family Guy, American Dad, Cleveland Show, all these shows. He leans very far left, and he will post about it on his social media, which I'm fine with. He keeps it out of his. I mean, like there'll be politically leaning topics, but it's very much a Mel Brooks style of comedy where nothing is safe. Both sides are.
Right, he doesn't prosecute one side or the other.
Yeah.
Everybody, he's an equal opportunity offender.
Keep it down the middle, man.
Well, I mean, that's how it should be, right?
Absolutely. Why anger? As Michael Jordan would always say, Republicans buy sneakers too. Why anger half of your?
Why am I going to delete half of my income?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
what's our time looking like?
We got 35 seconds.
35 seconds.
Yeah.
I would use it to sing the DuckTales song, but I'm not going to.
No, I've heard it.
I know you've heard it.
I've heard it.
Well, go out and YouTube the DuckTales song, and it'll change your life.
I think they probably made a drug ad to the song by this point.
That'd be outstanding. Hey, I'm in. Give me a
I mean,
prescription.
they've created a drug for everything,
Listen.
and a song exists.
The
for the
DuckTales
drug.
song in its own is a drug. And,
It is.
Yeah.
It's something.
Yeah. And Gummy Bears. They had a fantastic song.
Well, and unfortunately, that's our time.
Okay.
So that was a solid 30 minutes of cartoons.
Of rambling about cartoons.
That was a lot of rambling. I don't know if there was a lot of banter.
Was it?
I don't even know the definition of banter. So
I don't know.
isn't that kind of back and forth, or is it just general discussion?
I think it's just mouthing, just chatting. Yeah,
Just talking it up.
yeah.
You can talk underwater with your mouth full of marbles.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
All right. Well, that's episode 2, Asterix. Asterix?
Yeah, asterisks.
Episode 2, Asterix.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess we're going to get this posted.
Unless he deletes it.
I'm not deleting anything.
Yeah.
Not editing, not deleting. So
That remains to be seen.
I will save it, post it.
It's deleted already, and we don't even know it.
I mean, we appreciate all the people that have listened. We know there's several.
One day I will, but
You will appreciate it?
I'll listen.
Oh. I mean,
Right.
you were here, so
That's right. That's right.
no one else gets the privilege.
That's exactly right.
All right, well, we'll see you all next time. We'll see what the consensus is on the time frame. So maybe a day or two. Maybe it's going to be at least Monday, probably Tuesday, more likely. So
Probably Tuesday. I don't want to have anxiety attacks of the weekend thinking I have to be ready on Monday.
Tuesday, election day here in the city of Knoxville.
Get out and vote.
Yeah, so Tuesday's election day. Only 5,000 out of the 101 eligible voters voted early. So I guess everybody's going to be at the polls on Tuesday.
Stay out of my way.
So vote early and vote often. Later.
Wait.